everybody, Kowalski here, checking out another one of our hashtag Earl Grey Pour Up video discussions. Of course, today we're going to be talking about the exciting news that came out of the New York Comic Con 2020 Star Trek panel. Let's pour it up! So before we get into my breakdown of what news we got from the New York Comic Con panel from Star Trek, I do want to go ahead and state that there's going to be a couple of spoilers for the finale of Lower Decks Season 1. So be sure to skip to this time code in order to get past those spoilers and get into the other exciting news. Overall, the panel itself was really well done. I think after somewhat of a disastrous San Diego Comic-Con panel, CBS and kind of the production team behind these, online kind of discussion panels has really improved on their game. We obviously had Star Trek Day, which was a very long form thing, but was much more entertaining than the SDCC stuff. And then now New York Comic Con has come and gone, and honestly, it was very well done. It did not feel like the entire thing was an hour, even though it actually technically was exactly 60 minutes, but it definitely felt like it went by much faster and was much more entertaining. We got a lot of great information. We heard a lot of great Q&As, got to get some, great little behind the scenes little featurettes and news from all the different cast members and, the crew, and also just kind of to see their interactions between kind of the three shows that they wanted to talk about today, which was Lower Decks, Discovery, and Star Trek Prodigy. So for Lower Decks, we obviously talked a lot about what the finale was and what that kind of means for the second season. And obviously for those of you who have seen it and those of you who may want to be spoiled right now, the Titan, the USS Titan, did make its Alpha Cannon debut, both the exterior and the interior bridge shots of the Titan, because they brought in Jonathan Frakes to reprise his role as Captain Riker. And of course we had Commander Deanna Troi there because Marina Sirtis came back as well to reprise her role. And Ensign Boimler was kind of moved over to the Titan at the end, the very end of the 10th episode of season 1 of Lower Decks. So they talked a lot about the fact that we're going to see more Titan in the next season. We're going to see Boimler kind of working by himself on the Titan. We're going to get a lot more Riker. They're definitely not just going to undo that. And we're also going to see kind of an exploration of the dynamic between the Captain Freeman, and Mariner, them of course being mom and daughter. We're going to see a lot more of exploration with their dynamic now that they've decided to essentially work together as opposed to being kind of bumping heads all the time that we've seen a lot throughout season 1. And there was a little bit of an allusion to maybe that Shax isn't exactly dead. I personally don't think he's dead at all. I'll talk more about that in my episode 10 breakdown once that comes out. But I don't think he's actually dead. I think they're going to bring him back in some way. And I also think they're going to bring back Badgie in some way. I don't think they're going to let these two kind of iconic characters that people really liked from season 1 just kind of fall by the wayside. I think they're going to be bringing them back somehow. So they did kind of allude a little bit to that. That might be a possibility. We'll see what happens there. But that was really great to hear, because I definitely don't want him to be gone. He's Papa Bear. He leads the Bear Pack. I'm in the Bear Pack. I love the Bear Pack. So I want him to come back. And we really just got to know a little bit more about some of the characters and where they started from and where they were at the end, and kind of what's going on into the future seasons. The Mike McMahan did touch on the fact that the second season is completed. They are working on it right now. They're getting things started off, and they're getting things kind of ready for the actors to start recording their lines and things of that nature. Obviously, some of the actors kind of did make a couple of little allusions to different things that were going to be happening in the second season. So it's perhaps that they've already received some of their scripts, so that maybe they've already started to kind of get their lines ready to go for recording and stuff like that. So that's really great news. I really was excited to see all of those people together. Mike McMahan did a great job leading that panel with Will Wheaton, and they just did a really great job. And of course, Frakes showed up as well, kind of just to kind of do a little laugh or whatever, and kind of just share his experience of being now animated version of Riker, who, by the way, Jonathan Frakes has become the one actor who has appeared in the most Star Trek, I guess you could say, franchise iterations. So he's up to 6 now, which is crazy when you think about it, but he's at 6 now, so we'll see if he continues on. Maybe he'll make a guest appearance in Star Trek Prodigy. Okay, so moving on past Lower Decks, let's talk about Star Trek Discovery. So I'm not going to show any footage at all of that 1-minute sneak peek that we got from what appears to be the very first episode, perhaps right at the beginning of the first episode of season 3. CBS is really locking down hard on anybody who's sharing any of that stuff, so I'm going to completely avoid it and not do any of those stuff like that. I will, of course, have a link in the description below for you to go check out that footage, as long as it's still available for you to watch, or you can just go and see it inside of the panel video over on the New York Comic Con channel. But it was just about a minute, and it was awesome. We had this really cool space fight between Booker and an unknown person. Both ships completely new designs, never seen them before. They looked really great. There was this amazing little panel that Booker was using to kind of pilot his ship that looked really cool. There was a really great way for, like, the holographic kind of interface of the person hailing him kind of appeared. And then, of course, Michael Burnham kind of just jumped out from, the past into his future, his present, I should say, into the future, and smashed into his ship, causing them both to crash on the planet. That was really all we saw. But I do want to go ahead and say that the energy and just the intensity of this clip was very, very high, and it was really awesome. And I hope that this is actually the very first minute of the first episode, because if it is, I think this is going to really knock some people's socks off, and I'm very, very excited to see what this full episode really is. And I hope that the energy that we kind of felt in that first opening sequence has kind of continued on throughout the rest of the season, and hopefully at least for that first episode, and kind of see how things kind of play out over the next, kind of, I guess it's like 13 episodes for this one. So hopefully they match that kind of level of intensity and excitement, and I hope so. It looked really fun. It just seemed like there was a lot of questions of what's going on, who's who, where are these ships from, what happened to the Federation, where's the Discovery. There's so many questions going on, and I'm very, very excited to finally get some answers as to what's been going on with the Discovery. I feel like we've been waiting for forever now, but not forever, but it feels like a very long time we've been waiting to get some of these answers to what's going on with the Discovery and what happened to them after they went to the future. So I'm very, very excited about that. Also, during the Discovery panel, we did get to kind of meet some of our new cast members and also talk to some of our old ones. And, it was really kind of interesting, kind of seeing like, how these younger cast members are kind of integrating themselves into the franchise and into the show. And then kind of some of the other actors were talking about kind of doing a bit of mentorship and how like they were kind of blown away by their professionalism, even being as young as 19, which is crazy to think about, that somebody as young as 19 is going to be a principal cast member for a Star Trek show. It's kind of crazy. I'm super jealous. I wish I could do that, but I'm also not 19 and I'm not an actor, and I would be probably terrible, but that's unrelated. So really great for them. I can't wait to see their performances on screen, and I can't wait to see these new dynamics that we're kind of getting from these new cast members and our old cast members and kind of putting them all together. I think it's going to be great. I'm super excited for it. Okay, so the Discovery panel finally kind of wrapped up there, and then right at the end, we got a little bit of information. Now, we did kind of know that something was happening with Star Trek Prodigy, which is, again, that Nickelodeon show that's going to be geared towards kids and young teenagers. At least that's the intent there. We knew that they were going to be doing something on there based because of the show creators and some of the writers were posting stuff on Twitter leading up to this event saying like, hey, stay tuned, there's going to be a little something, I think. So we knew something was coming, but I don't think anyone was prepared for this announcement, which is that Kate Mulgrew, the one and only Kathryn Janeway, is going to be in the show. And not only in the show, but she is going to be a main character, which is insane. I would have never guessed that. I would have never even thought to make a fake rumor about that on 4chan. It is so left field, so out of the blue, but so exciting. The outpouring of love and reaction to this has been enormously positive, and I was speechless. When I saw that live, I was just speechless. I did not know what to expect with the announcement, and then when they brought her out and they said that she was going to be a main cast member, I was just speechless. And I still am in a lot of ways. Like, what is she going to be doing? Is she going to be retired? Remember the last time we saw her, she was Admiral Janeway inside of Star Trek Nemesis. So has she retired, and is she going to work with this kind of young misfit crew that find this ship and they go off on an adventure together? I don't know. It's very exciting to find out, because if she's in Starfleet and then she figures out that they have this ship, wouldn't she report them? So maybe she's retired and maybe she's kind of guiding them and mentoring them. I don't know. But they did confirm also that the synopsis that we got, I think over a year ago now, is still accurate, that it's a young group of kids that finds a derelict starship and they use it to go on an adventure. And somehow or another, Kathryn Janeway appears there and is working with them, through like some kind of, mentorship role. I did see some people kind of theorizing that maybe she's like a hologram. Maybe there's like an emergency captain hologram and it's Captain Janeway or Admiral Janeway. I don't know. I feel like that would be a little cheap. I hope that they actually bring in the actual Janeway. I think that would be a bit more fun. And maybe she's kind of coming out of retirement to work with this crew and kind of do something. And also, they keep calling it a starship, but we have no idea what kind of ship it's going to be. Is it going to be a massive, Galaxy-class starship, or is it going to be a captain's yacht? We have no idea yet, so it's unclear, just how big the ship is, and does it make sense that a small group of kids would be able to run it, or however that's going to work. We really don't know anything just yet, so before everybody starts poking holes into the storyline, just give it a minute. We don't know anything else about it other than the fact that that's kind of the confirmed plot. And then Janeway's going to be in it doing things. And she, Kate Mulgrew was in the panel and she spoke very, very positively about it. And she also mentioned the fact that she's already started to record her lines, which just goes to show how far along in the process that Prodigy is in terms of getting things ready to go for airing. And of course, speaking of that, we did see right at the end there that it is coming in 2021, which means it's coming next year. It didn't say when in 2021, but it is coming next year. So that's very, very exciting. Okay, guys and gals, I know I just hit you with a whole lot of information. I know I just spoke super, super fast to all of you, try to get all of that stuff kind of out there, but it was a very exciting panel. I absolutely recommend you guys and gals go and check it out for yourself. A lot of great little interviews there, but these were the kind of the big knockout of the parts hits, that I wanted to get across to all of you. And of course, I want to hear what you guys and gals think about that. So get your comments up down below. Let's get that conversation started. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to throw a like and a subscribe up on the channel so you can stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news, reviews for television shows, possibly movies, and much, much more. So get your stuff up down below, and we'll go ahead and get the conversation started. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!